Yo, what's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? Good morning. So, Bitcoin kind of playing possum on us there. Tricking some people, huh? Tricking some people. Look how high we pumped, all the way up to about $113,400, and then we just kerplunked all the way back down to $110,360 and dropping. Talk about your bait and switch. You love to see that, don't you? You love to see it, guys. Well, listen, I did tell you guys yesterday that we were likely minimum coming back down to this orange line here at 108,200. So we had this pump. We're going to get into why we had this pump today. But needless to say, jobs reports came in weak. Job market came in weak, so that's why we had the pump. But now we're seeing a massive sell-off as people are taking their profits. So, all right, let's get into a little bit. We got some super chats. Shannon, what's up, man? Yo, super fantastic. Let's go. Big Kev, what's up, buddy? Listening to Rob, make me money every day, whether the market is up or down. Join the swing group. Absolutely, man. We have absolutely been crushing it over on our copy trading and our swing trades. I'm up, what was I up? 95% this morning or something like that on that trade. Guys, if you're not over on the Patreon, you are missing out, guys. Market's red, market's going down. Guess what? We're swing trading, we're copy pro trading. We are making money. While the market is red, we are making green. Shannon, what's up, fam? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. William, what's up, man? Good to see you. Easy. Yo, yo, yo. Don't fall asleep, fam. Best is yet to come. Quentin, I see you, brother. What's going on? DHO, based off past experience, I know this dump was coming. No crying here. I'm buying. Exactly. There you go. Beebs, my dude. What's up, man? Ditto's in the house. First Pokemon of the day. Beebs watching over on Crypto Blueprint as well. My guy supporting the channels. There she is. Gamma Goddess. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. It's Open Mic Friday night. Let's get this money. Absolutely, guys. It is Open Mic Friday night over on the Patreon as well. Get over there. Join the community. Vent your frustrations, your concerns, your comments, and get the backup that you need from the community. Dave, what's up, man? King of Ohio in the house. Jake the Snake, what's up, man? You can't hide from me. Candyman says, if a person speaks sign language but only has one arm, is that a speech impediment or an accent? I think it's an accent, brother. Nice. Where are we? Where are we here? Yeah, guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe on the way in. It's free. It helps the channel grow. It doesn't cost you anything. We have 222 people watching. We have 45 likes. Guys, get the likes up. Let's get to 100. First goal, let's get to 100 likes. Let's get that done. Otaku's in the house. My guy. What's up, buddy? Good morning, Rob. Happy Friday. Have a chaos-filled day, my brother. Absolutely. Alfredo, what's up, man? AF, happy Friday, brother and family. Like and subscribe, guys, and appreciate Rob for all his hard work for this community. Absolutely. Strawberry Dragon in the house. What's your thoughts on Swift Coin? Swift is one of my biggest bags. That should tell you everything you need to know about my conviction in Swift Coin. It's one of my top 2 projects. Kryptonic Wave, Super Crypt. What's up, man? Otaku in the house, says Gamma Goddess. Yes, super cryptastic. There you go. When do you see Swiftcoin going parabolic? Along with everything else, man. Along with everything else. Hey, Rob, where is Jasmine's bottom? Right behind it. Right behind it. See what I did there? Where's Jasmine? I mean, Jasmine's at a little bit of a support level right now. If it doesn't hold, you could come back down to 1 cent 2.8. You could come back down to 1 cent 2.3, 1 cent 1.9, all relevant levels. But it's on a pretty solid support level right now, in my humble opinion. Oh, house, thank you everyone on the Patreon for the support. Remember, no like equals no bull run. Yes, absolutely, guys. If you don't hit the like button, bull run's canceled. Sorry. It's scientifically proven. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, right? Penny Packer, buy the dip or wait for a deeper dip, specifically Pith. Pith is a good pickup right now, man, not going to lie. Over the top, what's up, man? Appreciate the morning wake up updates. Absolutely, man. Guys, listen, it's only 10 o'clock here. I have already uploaded 3 videos to the Patreon today. 2 copy trade, swing trade update videos, and our morning market overview, which gets you ready for the day ahead. Free pick, what's going on? Where have you been, my guy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Cryptus in the house. Finally caught a morning live stream. There she is. Absolutely fantastic. Ray, my guy. It's great to be alive. Absolutely, man. It's a blessing every day. Carlos, what's realistic price for Swift this cycle? I have like multiple Swiftcoin price prediction videos out, my friend. Otaku in the house. Who was the house? Who's the house again? Who wins in a fight, Elon Musk or I'd have to go with Putin, man. He probably knows like the Vulcan death grip and stuff like that. So, Lissy, hope you're feeling better, boss. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Ramona, good morning, all. Yes, hit that like button. Absolutely, guys. Smash it. You better listen to Ramona. Beebs, my guy, Rob, can you check out Tharwa? Giving Ondo vibes. Tokenized oil gold? Sure. Let's have a looky-loo. Let's have a looky-loo. Is it THARWA? It's up 12, almost 12.5% on the day. $72 million market cap. It's got good tokenomics. You know my weakness for decentralized finance, eh? All-time high was 21 days ago. Wow. What is it? It's 1 cent right now. All-time high is 2 cents. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a great play, man. It just needs a couple more tier 2 and tier 1 listings. You got to get like your BitTrues and your KuCoins and stuff like that. But yeah, so far so good, man. Maybe a Coinbase listing would be nice. But looks like a decent play to me, man. Good tokenomics, good reasonable market cap. Yeah, absolutely. Green light, brother. Green light. Hubby Z, what's up, man? Happy Friday. Absolutely. Can you sell your crypto from your Tangem wallet? I don't use Tangem. I use Decent Wallet, as they are the channel sponsor. But I think you can swap on Tangem. Otaku says that's right. Zbic and Pith are on sale. Absolutely, man. Great entry points or DCA opportunities, man. JNF, if you're not making money, it's time to join the Patreon. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Like I said, I'm up 95% on that trade we opened yesterday, guys. Absolutely fantastic. We are making money on the swing trade tier while everyone else is just watching the red in the streets. All right, let's get into the news, guys. Let's keep it going. We're all caught up in the chat, so you know what time it is. Yes, you can swap on Tangem, says Free Pick. Absolutely. Quick shout out, as always, guys, to the channel sponsor, Decent Biometric Wallet. Not your keys, not your coins. Guys, keep your crypto safe. Guys, listen. I've had multiple people come approach me over the last few days, last week or two, that have had their crypto stolen from them. They've been hacked, or they've connected their wallet to something they shouldn't have, phishing scams. Guys, and everyone keeps asking me, what can I do to get my money back? The only thing you can do to get your money back when you get hacked or your crypto gets stolen because you were keeping it on a hot wallet or an exchange is go back in time and listen to me when I told you to buy a Decent wallet to keep your crypto safe. You wanted to save yourself $50 on a Decent, and in return, you lost thousands of dollars, right? So is it worth it to keep your crypto dangling out there? Guys, when I try to tell everybody this, when your crypto gets stolen, that's it. There is no recourse. There's no one you can call to complain. No one's going to do anything about it. There's no customer service that's going to get you your money back. You're just done, right? Keep your crypto safe. Again, I say this, I can't be any more clear. And the reason I'm saying it like this is because I say this, and then people get hacked, they get their crypto stolen, and then they message me saying, you got to help me. I'm helping you right now. Keep your crypto off exchanges, right? Keep it off your hot wallets. Keep it in your own self-custody, and it will not get stolen. Plain and simple. Stop trying to save yourself. Stop risking tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're risking that to save yourself, what, $50 on a Decent wallet? Come on, man, right? What do we got? Swap for stable coins, and yeah. Good morning, Rob, and everyone else. Let's get this bull run started. Absolutely, man. 69 likes. Nice. Yeah, nice. What do we got? 265 people here. 76 likes. Let's get up to 100, guys. Let's get to 100 likes. First goal of the stream. Let's get to 100 likes. All right. Now, let's get into the news here. We got some important news to cover today. We got some good things happening in the market, despite the fact that we've corrected back down to 110,600. Where is these nuts, says Jack Sparrow. Good question, my friend. Chris dropping that cheddar says, good morning, Rob. I've got dry powder and choosing between Wormhole, B3, and Swift. I know Swift's safe exit is down now to 10. No, it's not. I don't know who said that. I'm thinking B3 with its partnering with XRP. I have to look into the partnership with B3 and XRP. I need more details on that. Someone told me about it yesterday. I haven't looked into it yet. But if I had to choose between the three, I'm going Swift Coin personally. That's just my choice, right? So, okay. Crucial Fed rate cut looms. September decision could reshape markets. The financial world is abuzz with anticipation following a significant signal from key observers in the U.S. Federal Reserve. Speculation is mounting that the Fed rate cut could be just around the corner, specifically at the September FOMC meeting. This potential shift in monetary policy has profound implications for everyone, from investors and everyday consumers, and could reshape economic landscapes. According to Nick Timiraos, probably said that wrong, a prominent Wall Street Journal reporter often viewed as the unofficial voice of the central bank, there's a high likelihood of a 25 basis point Fed rate cut in September. A basis point is simply 1/100th of a percentage point. So 20, we know. His assessment stems from a notable slowdown in U.S. job growth, which he believes has significantly increased the probability of a Fed taking action. This suggests the central bank might be prioritizing economic stability and growth over concerns about inflation. The recent data from the U.S. Department of Labor provides a critical context for the prediction. The August non-farm payroll report revealed a mere 22,000 increase in jobs. This figure dramatically misses market forecasts, which had anticipated a more robust 75,000 new jobs. Such a sharp deceleration in job creation often signals a cooling economy, giving the Fed more room to consider an accommodative monetary policy, such as the Fed rate cut, without immediately stroking inflation fears. The Fed rate cut, if it materializes, would have widespread effects across various sectors: borrowing costs, investment landscape, and economic stimulus. However, it's also a signal that the economy might be slowing more than desired, presenting a mixed bag of opportunities and challenges. Businesses might face reduced demand, while consumers could benefit from lower financial costs. With a high probability of a September rate cut, it's prudent for individuals and businesses to consider how this might impact their financial strategies. For savers, you can expect lower returns on savings accounts and certificates of deposits. For borrowers, this could be an opportune time to refinance loans and take out new debt. And for investors to reevaluate portfolios, sectors sensitive to interest rates like real estate and technology could see shifts. Cryptocurrency, often seen as an alternative asset, also might react to a broader economic movement. In conclusion, the prospect of a September rate cut, as highlighted by Wall Street Journal's Nick, marks a pivotal moment for the U.S. economy, driven by significant slowdown in job growth. This potential monetary policy adjustment could bring both relief and new challenges, while lower borrowing costs could stimulate the economy's activity, the economic activity. It also underscores concerns about the overall health of the economy as we approach the FOMC meeting. Market participants and the general public will be closely watching the Fed's official announcement, ready to adapt to what happens. Absolutely. I don't know if Zeta Chain is undervalued. Probably. I think pretty much all utility projects are undervalued at this current point in time. So yeah, Penny Packer, we're thinking about red weekend. I think we might actually have a bit of a bounce this weekend, but I mean, not by much. Like, I think we're going to range basically where we were this morning and where we are right now. We're just going to kind of range, in my opinion. All right, what else do we have? U.S. Treasury yields drop significantly ahead of unemployment reports. Maker Life, what's going on, man? What are your 6 biggest bags? 6 biggest bags, I think. Miria, Swiftcoin, Jasmy, Zebek, Pith. I think Pith is number 5 right now because Pith went on that big run, right? So probably Pith right now. Yeah. Oh, you said 6 bags. That's 5. Number 6 would probably be Algorand, I think. I think it's Algorand right now. It's either Algorand or XCN, one of the two. U.S. Treasury yields significantly declined on September 4th, 2025, reaching their lowest levels since May. This development precedes the much-awaited U.S. employment report, causing intense dialogue in financial circles. The decline in yields may influence global risk strategies, driving capital towards equities and cryptocurrencies, which could result in potential rallies in digital assets, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. U.S. Treasury yields have dropped notably, reaching their lowest point since May, just before the release of the significant U.S. employment report. This decline is attracting attention from various financial sectors. Key figures in finance, including the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve, are linked to this event, although there are no new comments from major leaders like Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. The situation is being carefully watched. Falling Treasury yields can lead to asset reallocation, as these may affect global risk perceptions. The crypto market, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, remain under observation for potential capital inflow shifts, so we could see a lot of capital flowing back into the spot ETFs. The financial impacts of this yield drop may prompt increased interest in non-yielding assets such as cryptocurrencies. Such moves have historically led to market adjustments and asset reallocation in various sectors. Previous yield declines have led to significant crypto market shifts, suggesting a possible similar outcome. Historical data shows that assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum could benefit from this kind of macroeconomic situation. So we could see some capital start to rotate back into Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs as a result of these treasury yields dropping. So keep an eye out for that. All right, let's segue over to Squawk Box, guys, as we always do about this time. Let's see what's going on. Trump's industrial policies, tariff agenda, and AI chip sales. All your favorite topics.
Talk tech and politics. We're joined right now on set by Joe Lonsdale, Palantir's co-founder and 8VC founding partner. There's about 100 things that we could talk about. I actually want to start here. This is where I'm going to start, but there's 100 places we're going to go. A lot of the tech leaders are going to the White House today to meet with the president later. The president has taken a very somewhat aggressive approach as it relates to taking stakes in businesses, Intel, taking potentially revenue from an NVIDIA or an AMD. And I'm curious how you, as historically a conservative to some degree, or libertarian, thinks about that.
Yeah, you know, what he did, I guess, with Intel is there was a CHIPS Act that was giving him a lot of money, had a lot of strings attached. Some of the strings didn't make sense. And giving him money anyway, why not take a stake? It is very weird, of course, for the government to be be taking a stake in something. It's also a little bit weird for me for government to be, giving $9 billion to a company too. It's cronyism in some form, right? So as someone who's very concerned with liberty, if the government's giving money anyway, maybe it should get a better deal. It's not totally unreasonable.
It's cronyism with a capital C when you give it to them. It's cronyism with a small c if you get a stake in the company, right?
It feels that's my
It's
instinct.
just less. That's what I've been saying.
Weird.
It's less bad.
That's my impression.
And do you see this though? I mean, he's talked about how this is the beginning of something, meaning this is not the end state. That he would like to the extent that the U.S. government could buy either other stakes or get other stakes, that he would like to do that. What do you think of that?
Well, the government should not be a controlling shareholder in any of our important companies.
Should it be a 10% shareholder and quiet and not?
If people are getting money from the government to do something, which in this case is clearly a national strategic goal, national security goal, and strategic, it makes sense to at least get something back for it for the taxpayers, and maybe they sell it over time. They probably shouldn't be involved in governance, but it makes sense if you're giving money for national security to companies to get something.
But isn't that what the taxpayer is supposed to be getting back, the national security piece? Isn't that technically in a sort of a free market world, to the extent that there is a subsidy or that there's some effort being made by the government, the return is supposed to be either more resilient supply chains, better national security, but those aren't necessarily stakes in the businesses, because at least the way I think about it is once you have a stake in the business, all of a sudden you actually have a real interest in whatever happens to them in the future. So, for example, if there were two companies that were going to merge, that historically maybe regulators would say, we don't want these companies merging for the purpose of the consumer. But all of a sudden you actually have a stake in the business. Maybe now actually the merger makes more sense.
There's a million examples.
Right. We can go down the line of when the government, even if they're a non-voting member, but if they have a direct interest in the business, it fundamentally shifts.
You don't want it to fail, so.
But it may be that the government, by the way, has to think about who are they going to use as their supplier. Are you going to use the company that has the best product at the best price, or are you going to use the company that actually you have a stake in?
No, and listen, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and others have taken stakes in other ways. The Fed's taking stakes in bonds. I think it's very uncomfortable for me to have the government buying things. I think the goal should be, it's a failure when the government has to help and buy into something, but if it's giving it money anyway, to temporarily take a stake, maybe to take the money back as soon as possible, get out of it, as you say, there's good reasons why you don't want it involved, but there's no reasons not to take something if you're going to spend it for national security.
But his whole playbook is not conservative or liberal. I don't know what it is. It's like
around and around.
It's a whole new. I mean, all the populist stuff that's there. Joe, and tariffs were never.
Okay, so that's where I was going to go next. Let's talk tariffs. Where do you land on what's happening here?
After World War II, America was completely dominant, and we let a lot of countries around the world get away with a lot of nonsense, right? There have been a lot of rules. There still are a lot of rules. If I want to go and do business in Japan, if I want to go and do business in certain European countries, there's things that block me for certain industries. And because of that, it's been very unfair. We kind of allowed that. They needed the help as they were growing back again from nothing. At this point, it's unfair for them to be screwing over America. He's right to use something to try to renegotiate that and to get rid of their trade barriers.
But what do you think about, for example, India? When you put the tariff rate at 50% in India, is that good? In terms of now you see the president or the prime minister of India hanging out with Putin and the Chinese. Maybe he was already doing that.
You had all the evil villains together last week there. I don't think Modi's an evil villain necessarily, but you had a lot of bad guys in China there, and Putin and everyone. Listen, he's using it as a negotiation tactic to try to set things to be more fair. India has very, very unfair rules against U.S. trade. The right way to negotiate that is something that the president gets to do it. You have to let's see if he succeeds in doing it or not. And right now it hasn't worked so far, but maybe he has something to figure out.
And we can try and set the example for the rest of the world in terms of free and fair trade. You can only do it. You can only get screwed for so long, right? I mean,
that's the point, and you have to use some kind of tools to negotiate.
It's nice to be the world, the leader of the world, and all these things. But if
it says that you don't have these tools that you are now,
right? I mean, some people think
the Supreme Court could. I mean, the late '70s seemed to give the president this power with a law that we put in place. The lower courts are trying to stop it. It hasn't been used as much, but this is something we're going to find out from the Supreme Court, obviously. So obviously they have the right to stop it if they decide.
What do you make of we were talking with Heyman Capital earlier about this, but China and the idea of selling. Do you believe that NVIDIA should be selling these chips to China or not?
I'm very uncomfortable with the idea of giving China access to our best chips. I obviously do a lot in defense, and right. they're clearly an adversary that's using these things to develop stuff that we're going to have to potentially fight. So I hate that. There could be some theory that we don't want them to develop their own chip industry. We want to block it somehow. So there could be like higher level systemic.
Well, yeah, do you believe the sort of platform idea that if we can be the global platform and NVIDIA is the global platform effectively, that then you push out Huawei as a platform?
It does seem very important to try to compete against their platform all around the world and to try to undermine them as best we can. So what's the right answer to that? I don't have the data on that.
You support the administration, you support Trump. You support 70% of what's going on? Is it the 51%?
That's not, that's not how it works, Joe. I
know, but you know what I'm saying. That you gotta look the other way on certain things.
I have a lot of friends in this administration doing amazing work, and I admire. And this is a bold administration. I love how we just struck the Venezuela cartels. That's something I've wanted to do for years. And it doesn't mean I have to agree with everything they do. It doesn't mean that I'm in the know on everything they do. I don't know what the strategy is for everything.
And some of that you could be wrong on certain things that you're against, and it might actually end up. Everybody could be wrong.
That's a free country, we have different views and we disagree on things.
Joe, right before you sat down, we were reading some headlines. Elon Musk's not attending this AI meeting at the White House tonight. Do you know why?
I haven't asked him in particular, but I know he's extremely busy trying to build his businesses and hire talent. It's an insane war for talent right now in Silicon Valley. I know he's spending a lot of time on it.
Because we weren't sure if he was invited or not invited.
They didn't tell me if he was invited or not. I do know he's doing amazing work right now out in Palo Alto, trying to build his companies, and it's a very intense time to build things.
We're going to run out of time. Not Musk. I was going to say Meta versus OpenAI and this talent. You're talking about talent war and the amount of money being spent. Who wins that? And do you think that some of these big paydays are actually going to work out in favor of the company buying them?
The way we built Palantir and Adipar and my companies is we actually had lower than average salaries and high upsides. So like everyone who I convinced to come work with me at Palantir, and it was really hard to convince them sometimes. Like there's thousands of multimillionaires now because they had the upside. And I think they also worked harder because of that. I'm very skeptical of these like $100 million cash to come to my company. It's not how tech's worked in the past, so we'll see if it works now. But I think it's going to be the new companies where everyone owns them that's actually going to beat all of these guys.
Interesting. Gamma XTN Goliath launch in 25 days. Bullish or nothing burger? Honestly, my honest opinion, nothing burger. Truth Seek, yes, I am still bullish on Wormhole. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, my friend. Also, for the future reference, don't drop Patreon gems in the YouTube live stream, please. Leo, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. We'll be back at the Zoom later to talk with you guys. Nice. Open mic. Mario, what's up, buddy? What's up, y'all? It's me, Mario. 50 push-ups. Yep, plus 1-4 Mad Dog. There you go. Phil, what's up, buddy? How bullish, bearish are you on cookie dough, flare, and syrup? Mega bullish on cookie, mega bullish on flare, fairly bullish on syrup. I like all three projects. My favorites are, in order, cookie, flare, syrup, in that order. 1, 2, 3. Does Powell speak today? No, he does not. He speaks the day after the FOMC meeting, so I believe the 18th he speaks. Neck coin. What the heck is neck coin? All right, so what do we got here? U.S. SEC blames tech failure for loss of Gary Gensler's texts. How convenient. The U.S. SEC said Wednesday it lost nearly a year's worth of text data from the former chair Gary Gensler. The agency's office of the Inspector General implicated tech failures for the loss of messages. The report revealed that Gary Gensler's SEC-issued smartphone was functioning normally and was used regularly until July 6, 2023, when it encountered some tech problems. The OIG also highlighted that Gensler's smartphone had stopped syncing with the agency's device management system. So none of Gary's texts could be monitored on his federal-issued cell phone. Interesting. I wonder why. What was Gary talking about that can no longer be discovered, right? The report revealed the agency's Office of Information Technology, or IoT, staff failed to notice that the phone was showing an inactive status in the 62 days that followed. The OIG later introduced a policy on August 10th that automatically wipes any device that is not connected for 45 days. The agency's independent watchdog launched an initiative arguing that the device might be lost or stolen. The rule also led to Gensler's phone being wiped. The former SEC chair arrived at the agency's headquarters on September 6th of 2023 and found his device lacked the SEC apps. Gensler inquired for help from the agency's IT staff, who investigators said were unaware of what had transpired. The office permanently deleted text messages from October 18th, 2022 through September 6th, 2023, while performing a factory reset in a bid to restore the device. So nobody can see what Gary Gensler was talking about in that time frame. I wonder why. Probably so Gary doesn't go to prison. What do we got? Leo says, smash the like button, everyone. Yes, easy. Cookie looks like it could be starting to build some bullish divergence on the daily. Nice. Doge team and Elon can restore all the lost text messages. There you go. Send it over to Elon. Yeah, failed to notice. Exactly. Oh, I didn't notice. Yeah. But we got more, guys. We got more. Good old Gare Bear committing fraud, you know. U.S. job market weakens. Fed faces pressure. In a recent economic downturn, the United States experienced a significant drop-off in the non-agricultural environment this August, reaching levels unseen since late 2021, despite earlier advisories from former President Trump on interest rate reductions. Hidden data and extensive revisions by the Bureau of Labor Statistics had previously deterred such fiscal policy. Now, however, the declining job market has escalated as a pressing issue. The employment report reveals a decrease in the manufacturing sector by 12,000 jobs and a modest annual earnings increase of just 3.7%, short of the expected 3.8%. Simultaneously, labor force participation rates stagnated at 62.3%, and unemployment rose to 4.3%. Only 22,000 new jobs were created in August, a stark contrast from previous six-figure reports, marking one of the poorest outcomes in recent years. Yes, the current trajectory unmistakably points towards a weakening employment scene, urging the Federal Reserve to consider lowering interest rates. The detailed report further discloses an increase in over 385,000 individual jobless for longer than 27 weeks. Man, that must be hard, being jobless for 27 weeks within the past year. Moreover, the labor force saw a rise of 722,000 in individuals actively seeking employment outside its boundaries. Healthcare emerged as a sole sector witnessing any significant growth, while substantial layoffs afflicted public employment, mining, and oil and gas industries. Yet, even within healthcare, job growth lagged behind the 12-month average figures. With an interest rate adjustment announcement looming in 12 days, a 25 basis point reduction seems imminent. Expectations for a more drastic 50 basis point cut have risen by 2%, driven by the shift in perspective since Powell's recent statements at Jackson Hole. Such monetary easing is pivotal for sustained cryptocurrency bull markets. Monetary easing could invigorate the cryptocurrency markets, driven by institutional demands and regulatory factors. However, the tangible effects of these elements will materialize only if the Federal Reserve rapidly commences rate cuts. A pronounced job market slump that 50 basis point cut would signal a transformative phase in cryptocurrency, likely provokes significant market movements. So will we see a 25 to 50 basis point cut? It would be phenomenal if we saw a 50 basis point cut. Maria, interesting on that phone. Sounds like to me like Gensler needs to be brought up to the executive branch for clarification. Sounds like Gary needs to be put in prison, if you ask me. But that's just my humble opinion. The man is a bad actor and did not have the United States citizens, retail investors, in mind when he was making his decisions. Paul, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. So Bitcoin flipped green again so far, 110,900. Got to get back above the 100-day moving average, guys. Sitting right now at $111,763. Can we do it? Probably not, but we'll see, right? We shall see. I still think we're coming down, guys. We're coming down to this $108,200 level, possibly 106, and even possibly 104 before moving up, but we shall see. But listen, guys, for now, I got some stuff I got to do. I will be back later today. It is Open Mic Friday night. Remember, guys, we are knocking it out of the park with our Copy Pro trading and our swing trading over on the Patreon. Get over there, guys. You're missing out. I am up 91% on our current open trade. Yesterday, we crushed it with a 1,400% return, shorting World Liberty Financial. You're missing out, guys. Get over there. The link is in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. Jump over to the swing trade tier. You're missing the boat. Market's red. We're making green. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.